Welcome to Communicate to Lead, the podcast that empowers leaders and aspiring leaders to communicate with clarity and impact. I'm Kele Belton, CEO and successful entrepreneur, and your host for today. I'm here to equip you with all the essential tools and strategies to master effective communication and lead your team to success. As the founder and CEO of The Tailored Approach, my goal is to empower you to be the best leader you can be. So sit back, relax, and join me in today's episode as we dive into the art of communicating like a true leader. You have done the work. You have hit the metrics. You are the person everyone in the organization relies on to get the job done. You are praised for your efficiency, your reliability, and your ability to handle a million moving parts at once. And here's what nobody tells you. At some point, that very reputation starts working against you. I want you to picture this. There is a leadership meeting happening right now somewhere in your organization. Decisions are being made about the direction of the business, the budget for the next quarter, and the strategy that will shape the next year. Senior leaders are in that room. They are talking about talent, about potential, and about who is ready to step up. Here's my question to you. Is your name being mentioned? Or is your name coming up in a different kind of conversation? The one where someone says, "We cannot pull her off that project. She is the only one who knows how to manage it." That is the quiet, frustrating reality for so many high-achieving women I work with. You are being celebrated for your execution, but you are not being promoted for your vision. If you feel like your excellence has somehow become your cage, you are experiencing the Super Multitasker Trap. You have become so valuable in the doing that the organization literally cannot imagine you in the leading part. Today, we are breaking that cycle. We are moving you from the execution trap to the strategic arena. That is where you belong, my friend. Welcome back to Communicate to Lead. And today we have a very special Thursday edition of Communicate to Lead. I'm your host, Kele Belton, communication and leadership facilitator, coach, and consultant. This is a significant week for our community for two very big reasons. The first, it is the kickoff of Women's History Month in the US. I want to reframe it for you because what Women's History Month actually is a mirror. It is a moment where we look back at the women who fought, organized, negotiated, and led. We honor them by stepping fully into the leadership roles we already have earned today. That is what this month is about. Not celebration for celebration's sake, but action, visible, strategic, and unapologetic action. The second reason this week is significant, we have a massive collective win to celebrate. Thanks to your engagement, your commitment, and your word of mouth, Communicate to Lead is now officially ranked in the top 10% of podcasts globally. According to Listen Notes, our show has a listen score of 25, and that means we are performing better than nearly 3 million other podcasts. I want to be honest with you about what that means. It is not a vanity metric. A show reaches top 10% because its audience keeps coming back, because they share it, because the content is resonating at a level that creates real loyalty. And that is you. So thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart. You are the reason this show has impact. Now, here's what's happening throughout March on Communicate to Lead. On Mondays, we have our Monday Momentum episodes. This month, that means these episodes are 5 to 6 minutes where I unpack the leadership playbooks of 5 incredible women. Each week, I will draw a strategic lesson from one of the 5 iconic leaders that I admire: Brené Brown, Ursula Burns, Melody Hobson, Indra Nooyi, and Ellen Ochoa. These episodes are tactical and designed to give you something you can use before your first meeting of the week. Then on Thursdays, we go deep. Today, we are setting the foundation with 3 specific executive presence drills to help you design your boldest, most strategic leadership month yet. And for the rest of March, I will be interviewing women leaders and experts who work with women leaders to unpack the strategies that move you from being the most reliable person in the room to being the most strategic voice in that very same room. grab your notebook because we are moving beyond execution today. Before I give you the drills, I have to address something that runs deeper than tactics. Because if we do not address it, no framework I give you today is going to stick. And that is the identity shift that has to happen before the strategy can land. Let me tell you about a woman I will call Danielle. Danielle came to me after being passed over for a VP role for the second time. She is extraordinary. The projects she runs come in on time, on budget every single time. Her team loves her. Her senior stakeholders trust her completely. But when the VP seat opened up, they hired externally. And the reason they gave, well, we did not see enough strategic vision. When Danielle and I dug into what was actually happening, we found that every meeting she attended, Danielle was delivering. She was reporting out on status, updating on timelines, and flagging risks. She was being the most reliable person in that room. When I asked her, when is the last time you walked into a meeting and made a recommendation? Not a report, but a recommendation about where the business should go. She paused for a long time. That pause told me everything I needed to know. Danielle was stuck in execution mode because her identity in that organization had been set. She was the reliable executor. And here's the brutal, honest truth. If you are only known for your execution, you'll be kept in that execution role. The organization is not going to promote you out of that function you are filling perfectly. Your identity has to shift first. The shift I'm talking about is moving from being a messenger to being a meaning maker. A strategic leader is the meaning maker who explains why that update matters to the bottom line. A meaning maker connects the problem to the organizational risk. A meaning maker creates the conditions where sponsorship becomes inevitable. At the senior level, your value is measured by your ability to shape thinking in the people around you and above you. So this month is about graduating from the mindset of proving yourself and stepping into the mindset of positioning yourself. You have already done the work. Now it's time to communicate the impact. So the first role we're going to touch on for this month is the authority audit. This role is directly inspired by a Monday Momentum focus this week on Brené Brown and the concept of leadership armor. Here's the pattern I see constantly. You are in a meeting and you have a genuinely good idea. And before you say it out loud, you soften it. You say, I'm not sure if this is the right approach, but, or you say something like, this might be off base, but I want to throw it out there. These are all qualifiers. They are hedges and they are your armor. We use them because high achieving women learn that being wrong in public is dangerous. The armor does its job too well. It does not just protect you from being wrong, it protects you from being seen as decisive. At the senior leadership level, decisiveness is a primary signal people are ready for. Here is the drill. Step 1, identify the hedge. Before your next high-stakes meeting, notice the qualifier that is trying to soften your entrance. I bet you have a specific one that you might be using all the time. So identify that. Step 2, this is the no qualifier swap. Replace that hedge with one of two phrases. First phrase, I recommend, or second phrase, here is what I see. These phrases signal strategic ownership. You are not asking for permission to have your idea. You are confidently and boldly sharing your idea. Step 3, own the win. At the end of this week, name your concrete professional win out loud to a peer or a mentor. This is training your brain to register your own evidence of leadership. No minimizing, no attributing it to timing or luck. Name it, own it, and move on. That was the first drill. So here's drill number 2, strategic advocacy. A study by McKinsey & Company found that women are significantly undersponsored compared to men. Despite being over-mentored, we are comfortable asking others to mentor us, but we struggle to get sponsors. Now, a mentor advises you and talks to you, but a sponsor talks about you in rooms where you are not present. A sponsor vouches for your readiness before you have even raised your hand. The drill is this. Each week this month, choose one woman in your organization and intentionally advocate for a strategic impact. Avoid any doer compliments, such as, she is so reliable or she is great to work with. These will not get someone promoted. A strategic advocacy statement sounds like this. I want to highlight the strategic impact of Michelle's work on the Q1 rollout. She identified a resource bottleneck 3 weeks before it would have become a crisis. And her intervention saved us an estimated 15% in efficiency losses. This is the kind of systems thinking we need at the senior level. When you advocate for others using high-level language, you are demonstrating to senior leadership that you understand how the whole system works. You are acting like a VP before you even get the title. The key is to connect the contribution to a business outcome when you are highlighting one of the women you admire. That was drill number 2. Here's the third drill, the final drill for March, is the 10% bolder rule. Almost every woman I coach says, I am waiting until I feel ready. This, my friend, is armor. Strategic leaders do not wait for readiness. They practice courage in increments. Identify one leadership action you have been postponing. Once you've identified it, execute it this month. But here's the key. Do it 10% bolder than you originally planned. If you are going to mention a boundary in passing, instead have a direct scheduled conversation about it. If you are going to raise an idea in a meeting, instead request 15 minutes with a senior leader and walk them through it one-on-one first. 10% is manageable. We're not saying go for 100%, we're going for 10%. 10% of you being a bolder version of you. And when you take that 10% bolder action once and it doesn't destroy you, 10% bolder becomes your new baseline. That is how you move from executing tasks to commanding strategy. March on Communicate to Lead is about more than history. It's about your future. When you perform an authority audit and swap out a qualifier for a recommendation, you are modeling what it looks like for a woman to take up space with confidence. When you stand up for a colleague using strategic high-level language, you are shifting what the language of leadership sounds like in your organization. And when you take that 10% bolder action, you are proving that women belong in the rooms where decisions are being made. If these drills are resonating and you are ready for a structured environment to master them, I invite you to join the waitlist for the Ignite Your Leadership Power Accelerator. This is my 12-week group coaching program designed for women leaders who are ready to move from executing to leading at the senior level. Our next cohort is forming. You can find and click the link in the show notes, and it will take you directly to the waitlist page where you can sign up. Thank you genuinely for being part of this top 10 community. Join me next Monday for our next Monday Momentum episode, where I will unpack the leadership strategy of Ursula Burns. Until next Monday, my friend, I am Kele, reminding you that great communication is the foundation of inspiring leadership. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember to communicate to lead.